Hello and welcome to our practice today. Before I start, I just wanted to warn you that I'm going to start winding down the offerings because August is going to have to be in places where I can't record, and I'm moving my daughter to university in America, and that's just going to take a little space, a little time, and I'll be back in September offering classes again once that chapter has shifted. So just know that by the end of July, we'll be winding down. And in the meantime, welcome to this restorative practice. We're going to start straight in Supta Baddha Konasana. And once we've relaxed and opened the outer carapace, the defenses of the outer body, and we are more in connection with heart, we'll sit up, we'll make our invocation, and we'll begin. So you'll need a bolster, a strap, a blanket, and possibly 2 blocks, meeting back on the mat. Starting on the bolster, this is an important little detail. So getting into the habit of starting on the bolster, the blanket is waiting for us here, and let's place our strap. And tighten up. Keeping the strap, of course, nice and low on the hips so that it's doing the work it's supposed to do. If you let this back strap ride up, then it starts to do the opposite. It starts to create an overarch in the lower back, which is the opposite of what we want to do. So really make sure to push that down. Now we're going to come forward off the bolster, keeping the heels as close as possible to the groin, and we can pull in a little bit more than we thought by coming down a level. Making sure the strap is still low on the hips so that as we lie back, we can utilize the strap, the outer edges of the feet pressing into it, to move the buttocks towards the heels. And then reconnect. If you like support under the outer thighs, you will put your blocks there. Checking that this blanket supports the neck and the head. I so often see people pulling it into under their shoulders, and so how can the shoulders move back? They can't because they're blocked. So just that little few millimeters makes all the difference in terms of shoulders being able to flow back and heart being able to blossom. So adjusting everything so that you feel supported, opened but supported, and then extending the arms diagonally out to the side. The palms open as an offering. The palms open so that the lungs open, so that the heart opens. And then the eyes closing. And just beginning to settle into a smooth and soothing, even breath cycle. As all of the tensions of the body, the tensions of the mind, begin to disperse and flow away and out. As the outer body relaxes more and more, the breath will start to naturally change, lengthen, deepen. You will begin to feel that it's being given the space to exist. So keep relaxing and keep observing, settling into that new breath, that new presence. Lifting the hands, resting on the thighs, opening the eyes. Diffusing the gaze. So you're seeing outwards, but you're also seeing to the side. And even though you're looking, you're also having the eyeballs recede. Everything simultaneously. And then gently making our way back out. And let's take the strap off. And take our bolsters, turning them a seat. Sukhasana. If anything is uncomfortable with the ankles, of course, blanket, padding anything out. Broadening our sit bones, not just from a functional perspective of widening the hip so that each thigh links to each hip, and so that the spine rises up from between that foundation, but also from the energetic perspective of bandhas and chakras, so that as we sit, the spine tall, straight, firm, we visualize inside also the energetic body, starting at the root and traveling up to the crown. And that each inhale, each exhale moves up and down along this line of inner energy, bringing pranic nourishment, receiving pranic nourishment. And then lifting the hands and pressing the palms together with firmness, with alertness, with aliveness. And opening this practice with one arm. Inhale. The hands releasing. The chest open, the chin lifting, the eyes opening, and immediately diffusing the gaze again. Stepping back over and over again to that place of diffused witnessing. Alright, keeping the bolster where it is. You may wish to have the blanket behind or not. We're going to be using the bolster in Sukhasana on the middle upper back to arch and get the back body to press in and to ignite this area, and also broaden and access the side ribs, the gills, this magical zone here. So if you know you're a little tight, you might want to have this blanket. I am going to move it to the side. And then Sukhasana and our strap. Right ankle cross in front of the left, start off. And just placing the strap and placing the feet and just tightening up, giving that containment to stop extra spreadingness in this, but still allow for spreadingness from the pubic bone and in the abdominal cavity, linking up to this. So there's a shape of a triangle, and the back body will be pressing in, accentuating the very top of that triangle. As we lie back, remember to move your buttocks towards the heels so that you're not arching the lower back, which is a very common tendency. And also common is to have the bolster too much towards the lower back. So check this already. It needs to go higher. The back of the head supported. And then bringing the arms back, stretching them back. Bending the elbows and holding onto the upper outer arms by the elbows. You want a certain structure in the arms, the shape of a square, a triangle. So don't hold the arms anywhere, really hold them, the upper outer arms by the elbows, and gently pull the elbows in, but broaden each shoulder away from its respective neck. Soft, smooth inhalations and exhalations. You can close the eyes. If the eyelids are open, be sure to keep diffusing the gaze. Make sure the eyeballs aren't ever getting hardened, that they're always melting backwards, moving us out of that externalized perception, moving us out of cerebralness, so that we can inhabit new places, heart spaces, and more, the mystical and the magical. Soft, deep, smooth inhalations and exhalations. Keep encouraging the body to melt on the supports. And then begin to connect with the middle and upper back where you feel the bolster. And with each exhale, start to accentuate the sensation that that area where the bolster is pressing up, and that area of the body is pressing up, and the elbows are pulling back, and you feel a new opening coming to the armpits, to the chest, to the side ribs, to the breasts. Each inhale bringing more and more aeration, openness, awareness to this area. Each exhale teaching the middle and upper back how to press up again, to pull the elbows back. Soft, smooth inhalations and exhalations. Relaxing the thighs and the buttocks down to let them grip up. And finishing our last breath cycle, the eyelids opening, the gaze diffusing, releasing the arms, stretching them back, and then bring the arms back in, bringing the knees up, and rolling over, and coming out. So we're going to be changing across the ankles. So if anything felt strained in the shoulders and the neck, and you didn't have a blanket, you go ahead and put that blanket up. And there's also a nice little roll that one can do with the blanket if the neck needed a little bit more support, like that. I'll keep it in so I can show it on this side. Okay, so left ankle in front of the right. What am I doing? I was doing a Baddha strap on the legs, on the feet. And tightening up, just enough to contain, so that this area can actually relax. As we lie back, moving the buttocks towards the heels to ensure that we're working the middle and upper back, not the arching of the lower back. And here's where you can see the roll, or the value of the roll of the blanket, if you like to have that neck support there. And then stretching the arms back, nice and parallel, and change the cross of the arms. and resettling into this gentle, supported Bhajangasana in Sukhasana. Soft, smooth, even inhalations and exhalations. The eyelids can close. Make sure you're really holding the arms correctly and broadening the shoulders away from the ears. With each exhale, pull the elbow tips back and down and press the shoulder blades and the back ribs up. And with each inhale, expand. Feel the inner body expanding into that new space of the lungs, the intercostal muscles, the breasts, the side ribs, the armpits. Everywhere, getting more and more freedom. Keep ensuring that you're softening the face, that you're letting the face melt back, the jaws relax, the ears relaxing. And finishing our last cycle of breath before releasing the arms, stretching the arms back, the eyelids opening. And then bringing the arms back in. And we want to release ourselves from the strap, rolling over and pushing ourselves back out. Moving gently, moving slowly. There's a lot more happening than we may be aware of. Okay, we're going to move this bolster and move this blanket and come to Supta Ardha Padmasana without any support. So lifting the right leg up, moving the calf so that you make space behind the back of the knee and placing the foot as high up on the thigh as possible. This is where you may want to bring your blanket in if your knee is very high and create supports so that you're able to relax for a few minutes. And now let's take the strap, placing it and pulling over that bottom foot and tightening up. Lying down now, of course, adjusting buttocks towards the front of the mat so that the lower back is coming towards the ground. No overarching in the lower back. Rolling the shoulders back so that the chest is opening and trying to press the shoulder blades up without lifting the lower back up. So that's the trick, how to keep the lumbar descending as much as possible, but press the shoulder blades up to get this accordion opening, this shininess here. And then the arms straight, cross the thumbs, and the arms coming back above the head, the elbows straight, the fingers well spread, every cell open, radiating, lengthening, breathing. Keep trying to press that right foot down and to press the thighs down towards the earth. That pressing downwards of the thighs is the anchor from which, as you stretch the arms, you gain more traction. If you let the legs become light, then you get less stretching of the waist, less stretching in the abdomen. So try to really densify the legs, to press them down, and then to stretch the arms and feel what happens to the trunk. Feel with the breath inside, outside. And look for the tearing sensation in the skin. Look for the broadening of the lungs, of the rib cage. And then the eyes opening if they're closed. Bring the arms back up and releasing. And now bring the legs towards you so the strap's holding the foot in. You can hold the strap, or if possible you can wrap the arms around. Gently hugging the knees towards you, staying with a smooth and even breath. Each exhale is streaming release of tension, physical and mental, all tension. And now releasing your hold on the strap or your hold around the legs, and just loosen the strap. Release the legs and rolling over, pushing ourselves back up. Time for the other side. Left leg into Padmasana, clearing the calf space, clearing the back of the knee, and placing the foot as high as possible. And if you need support with blankets, etc., place those in now. Strap on, including the bottom foot. And tightening up. And as we lie back down, giving that extra attention each time to the buttocks, the hips, to ensure that the lumbar is as best as possible moving towards the ground. This also has the benefit of allowing the organs to move towards the ground, and then we lift them up. So there's that bandha engagement. And now stretching the arms up, changing the cross of the thumbs, and re-lengthening back. Make sure your elbows are firm and your arms are stretching, your fingers are stretching, but at the same time, try to ensure that you're not hunching the shoulders up in that effort. Often when we stretch the arms, we forget that the shoulder must move down. So we want to connect the top of the arm bone into the shoulder to make sure that that hunching doesn't happen, that doesn't shorten the neck and tighten the brain ultimately, as well as a host of other undesirable effects. So humerus bone into the shoulder socket and shoulder blades pressing up. Soft, smooth inhalations and exhalations, having that evenness. Keep pressing the thighs down towards the ground, anchoring the pose, earthing it, so that as the arms stretch and as the waist stretches and the top of the trunk broadens, it's being held, resisted from that anchoring point. And in this way we get a deep attraction, much more penetrating. And then the eyelids gently opening, the arms lifting back up. And we're lifting the legs, hugging our knees in. We can hold the strap, or lifting ourselves up. Try to wrap the arms around. See if we can hold hands, settling back down. Just flowing right back into that smooth and even breath. Each exhale, pacifying the abdomen, pacifying the hips, pacifying the face and brain. And then releasing the hands, releasing the legs, and widening the strap, removing, releasing, and rolling over to the side, and coming back up. Alright, taking our bolster and our blanket again. We're going to just unfold the blanket once, make a nice little construction for the neck. So rolling one end and rolling the other end. You'll find that one roll needs to be a little bit bigger than the other because the bigger roll is for the back of the skull and this roll is for the neck. Of course, it all depends on your neck and skull, but you'll find that that's what generally works best. And then this bolster coming in for underneath the knees. You can keep your strap handy, you can put it on the eyes. And we're lying back. First, making sure that the back neck is supported, that the shoulders are able to flow downwards. Then rolling this back roll in enough that the back of the skull feels supported. You don't want the chin to lift up, you don't want the forehead and the brain to push back like this. So enough support there. Then, adjusting the bolster so that it's in the sweet spot and the inner groins are rolling open. And the final adjustment, the hips, the sacrum, the lumbar spine. So press into the feet to lift the hips up, and with your hands, move, adjust, tilt, so that the entire lower back is resting completely on the ground. Shoulders rolling back. Our arms will extend diagonally out to the side. I'm showing you now because we're about to take our straps and just place the straps over the eyes and over the ears as well. Any last vestiges of hardness or functioning from the face will be releasing those senses, completely turning inwards. That final absolute letting go-ness of the brain and being from the heart. So arms extended. And because the shoulders are successfully flowing back and the shoulder blades are pressing up, you find that naturally the palms are really open to the sky, the little fingers easily moving in the direction of the thumbs. And this is just the perfect postural setup to further engage the depth connection with the sternum, with the heart, and with the pacification of the abdomen and the organs. So finding just first that evenness of breath again as the vehicle through which to deeply surrender to our shavasana. And when you feel ready, take the final exhale and enter Shavasana. And preparing to exit our Shavasana very gently in stages. So just the fingertips, the toes, the hands, the feet. And then lifting the hands and resting them on the front hip bones. And then lifting the hands and pressing the palms together. Ending our practice with conscious gratitude and sending our love out to the entire universe. Loka samastaha sukhinho bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. The hands releasing, and we can remove the strap. Immediately we feel light through our eyelids and the mind starts to move outwards. And that's why we want to move slowly so we don't completely disconnect from that inner world and that inner heart space that we've been inhabiting and living from. Rolling over to the right. Everything in softness, everything sacred still. And then the hands helping us to sit back up. The eyes will be the last thing to open. Just taking a seat, calmly, quietly. And then the eyelids flickering open. Immediately diffusing the gaze. The jaw relaxed, the shoulders relaxed, and the inner body, the inner sheaths, the energetic body, alive, pulsating, with bright, pure colour, well nourished, and sharing that vibrations outwards. I hope you feel that way too. Namaste. Take care. See you soon.